All right, welcome to episode 70 of Y Space.
Hey, y'all.
70!
Hey,
Hey, look, I just noticed too. Look, red and yellow.
look at
Chiefs
us.
colors.
See, we're
Look,
getting ready. We're
we're
so
ready.
close to football season. I can feel
It's
it.
getting here. It is getting here. Um, well, first of all, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. It is hot. It's humid outside, so that just makes you
Ooh,
not happy with life.
yeah.
And then it becomes like you turn into the person that just talks about the weather all the time.
Yeah, I now understand that. It used to be like that running joke, like, what are you, 70 talking about the weather? I mean, there's a lot to discuss,
It
actually.
affects your day.
Yeah,
So,
we're supposed to have tornadoes today. They're saying maybe even what's it called, the EF5? What
oh,
real bad ones?
yeah, that feels aggressive.
Yeah. So hopefully we make it back for episode 71. We'll see. I mean, I just
Best of luck to us.
yeah, it's yeah, it's definitely that like everything is really still and eerie outside.
Yes.
So it's a
Yeah.
good feeling, real good feeling.
Thanks.
But yeah, let's see. We've got some things to talk about today.
We do. Few.
Imagine that. Imagine that. We're going to talk about some entertainment stuff. Really, our entertainment category has also now become our legal category.
It really
Um,
has. There's a lot going on.
Listen, I don't know if it's because, my phone's listening to me, but because of this, my Twitter last week, I mean, I felt like I was sending you more than you were sending me about legal things happening. So there's that.
I try not to overwhelm you with the legal proceedings because you've got to be our like NBA and WNBA. So that's
It's a lot. It really is. We have a lot of jobs we have to do. But so we're going to have some legal updates,
yes.
which kind of teeter into the world of entertainment. We are going to have some Taylor talk today. We've had no sightings, but the American Music Awards are a week from today.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about what that could mean and some predictions, as we like to do. We've got a little bit of NFL news we're going to talk about. Then I've got some other sports news to cover with you. And then, of course, as always, we're going to answer some questions. And I just want to go ahead and say that of the 4 questions I picked for today, I only feel incredibly confident about 2 of the names.
They're not even
So,
weird names.
really? Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there. It feels like they could be that kind of weird pronunciation, but
I think you
anyway,
just psych yourself out about it.
I get real nervous. Well, it's funny because, my husband's name is Aaron, but he spells it Arron. So I call him Aaron. But, I mean, he would have to come in here and tell you how he thinks it's supposed to be said. It's like
Orange.
Aaron or something. His mother doesn't even do this, but I don't know. And so then I get really tripped up on names. It's the whole thing. But anyway, welcome. Episode 70. We were just crazy. 30 episodes from 100.
Right? That's a lot of thoughts and
We
opinions.
got to get busy planning our big 100.
We do.
So
We got to do
we
some.
know one segment we're having. We're going to have some repeat guests we've had before.
Yes.
They're
They've
young.
decided themselves. So,
Yeah, they let us know that they would be joining us for that episode.
yes.
So feels right. But to kick us off, let's talk about some news in the courtroom. So
Yes.
Karen Reed trial. We told you guys about it a little bit last week,
Yep.
and it has continued on. Would you like to give us, as our resident legal expert, would you like to give us an update?
Absolutely. So we are day 18 of the Karen Reed
Oof.
trial today.
Okay.
We're recording on Monday.
Yep.
So they do expect the prosecution to rest either Friday or Tuesday of next week.
Oh, that feels quick. Okay.
Yeah. So, but then it'll be the defense's turn to call some witnesses, and the prosecution has not called near the number of witnesses that they called in the first case, and they have left out some big hitters. So I do foresee the defense calling some of them. But in court today, what we have learned, because there's been some like DNA specialists, the only actual DNA of John O'Keefe, the person who passed away, on the car of Karen Reed, the only piece of DNA was one piece of hair that somehow managed to stay on this car for multiple days driving through snowstorms and wind. So that seems a little sketchy. Then
Now, this is a man that was allegedly hit by this car.
yes, which the
Okay.
prosecution has yet to introduce anything that actually states that he was killed by a motor vehicle. Like, nothing has indicated that yet. The physicians at the hospital, the paramedics, the medical examiner, all of it says, like, he looks like he was in a fight. Well, that's different from a car. So, but
Well, it could be a fight with a car.
it'd be a big fight. But the DNA people today stated that the hair that was on Karen's car could have been from his niece or nephew on his maternal line side, who he lived with. So the hair might not even be his.
We can't know for sure.
Every time the defense was asking the DNA person, like, could this be his nephew's? Could this be his niece? The prosecution was objecting to every single question, and the judge, who seemed shadier than shady, was sustaining every single time. Like, she will not let them answer. But I was like, good on the defense for at least, like, getting the question out there so that the jury can question it. But I'm super anxious for this to wrap up and see what the jury decides.
Yeah. Now, last week we had a bit of a scare. Twitter was rampant that day, so apparently it appears that Karen had a bit of an illness that day.
Yeah, she just didn't look great. Like, not her normal self walking into court. They never told us who was actually sick, but somebody was sick, so they had to cancel court for one day, and then they had a little bit of a late start the next day. But we're back on track.
Listen, Twitter was real convinced that charges were being dropped, and Twitter was convinced it was over and done, it turns out. And there is one video, I can't remember if we've sent it to each other, where they're taking like a little bit of a break, and so she's going to run to the restroom. And just like you would kind of scurry out of a room, but she's like kind of scurrying a little faster, and somebody was like, oh, I've seen that run. So, Godspeed to her and her intestinal issues. Listen, if it were me and I was accused of anything, I would be living on the toilet. So
right. Well, and then so I watch it on Court TV, which has a whole bunch of like judges and former lawyers and people that like come in and kind of give their take on this is what the defense is trying to do, this is what the prosecution is trying to do, this is why this is like, it is very helpful. But a lot of the times, like, they'll come on and they're like, well, Karen just seems really involved with her defense. Like, she's asking them questions. She's telling them what to ask. Like, when they go up to meet with the judge at sidebar, she goes up with them. Listen, if I'm potentially going to be put in jail for life, you better believe I'm all up in that.
I'll be all up in the business. Yeah.
You know what said.
The English language is a funny thing. And I was actually talking to our boys about this weekend. You know how words like have all these different meanings, but it's like looks like the same word. It's funny because you keep saying defense, like we would say.
I catch
Miles Garrett plays defense, but it's really in the court it's defense. Yeah. I mean, it's okay. I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying.
I flip it back and forth, but I'm so always focused on football that defense makes more sense.
Make fun of me with names. Here you go. But no, so that's our Karen Reed update. Yeah. So if they rest this week, how many weeks do you think the defense, how long do you think they'll go?
So the whole trial was supposed to last, I believe, 8 to 9 weeks. So we're in what, week 3?
So about another month-ish?
Yep. So the jury should be going to deliberate sometime around the end of the first week of June.
God. Can't wait. Coming up.
Crazy.
All right, so Diddy is still in his court proceedings, and with every day and tweet and thing, it's just, man, I don't know. It's kind of one of those situations where we would like to believe in America that you're innocent until proven guilty, but, I mean, really, is that true? Because...
Well, I think the interesting thing on this case, so this trial is specifically for sex trafficking. All they're proving right now and all the prosecution is saying is like, yeah, he was a bad person and there was some domestic violence for sure. The prosecution has not brought anything in to discuss trafficking, and so I think that's very strange.
I didn't know like when we were going to get to that part, because right now pretty much all you've proven is that he's a freak and potentially has some aggression issues, but I feel like we're not getting to the point.
Yes.
And I feel like we're wasting like some of this
very valuable time.
I'm sorry, I just looked at our notes. I'll get to it when we talk about it. I have a name totally misspelled. I don't even know what's happening there. I mean, yeah, again, now if this was about a lot of other issues, I think they're doing a good job proving that. But what we're here for, I don't think they're doing
Well,
anything.
and the trial, and I have not researched very much because this is just so disgusting that I'm like, I just can't
Oh,
get
it's
into it.
so bad.
But this specific trial, is this the one that he's in jail for?
I don't know that he's in jail for just one trial.
Okay.
So
That's
I think like even if tomorrow they rule he's innocent on this, I think he's still there.
okay. That's what I was.
Now it might improve his chances of getting like house arrest or something, but I mean we're still in some trouble.
But you think about it, like this is the big case. This is the big FBI raid.
Well, I was gonna say because honestly, the other things he's being accused of, I assume will go to court. But like the Cassie thing is like him abusing Cassie, that's not going to court because
Oh, they said
that's over and done. That was settled. Him being a freak is not illegal. So
all of those raids that the FBI did, that's this current case that they're on. And I would think the
I believe
FBI
so.
is not going to trial if they don't have some solid evidence of the charges. Not that he was a bad person, not that he was abusive, because we've seen that. You've proven that.
We've known that for
I
years.
know that he's never denied that currently. In the past, he has. So it's
To
just
me,
very strange.
to me, it seems like, and it's kind of scary to say, to me, it seems like the prosecution really doesn't have what they need. And so they're just trying to destroy his character in hopes that you're going to be like, well, then he probably did that too.
I mean,
Which is not what they're supposed to do. But
right.
to me, at this point, even just a week or two in, if you had something, we'd know it.
Right? Because at first I thought, well, maybe
Yeah.
they're just laying the foundation of like, he brings these girls in when they're early, then he pays for all of these things so that he can start to control them. And so they're just laying that as a foundation to then move into the trafficking piece. But I'm like, okay, foundation was laid. Let's
Yeah, like we there. So I don't know. It will be interesting. I was talking to Retha actually last week about this though. She was like, "Okay, so what's the end game though?" And I'm like, "Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm Diddy. Like, I'm obviously guilty of being a freak, and I obviously have some aggression issues.
right.
Nobody has said anything to me that makes me think I'm gonna be guilty of anything else. So I don't know. But I was like, if he's gonna take anybody else down with him, he gonna end up dead in jail.
Well, but now it makes sense why, because I believe they had tried to offer him a plea deal right before this went to trial, like a day or two before, and he had turned it down. And I thought, man, that's a gutsy decision. But now, having heard updates of the case for the first couple of weeks, I'm like, maybe he knew they don't have anything on these actual charges.
Yeah,
Maybe,
yeah, I don't know.
maybe good on him. Here's the thing, like if he gets out of prison, I think he's gonna still release music and do stuff, and people are still gonna listen to him. Like
Yeah.
maybe not quite as many, and maybe you aren't gonna be able to like tour and do the things that you used to, but
Well, that was kind of what Retha and I were talking about. Like, what are people like? Are you gonna? Here's the thing: I didn't consume his music anyway.
I didn't either. And his
I just
business
think
dealings, like I didn't really even know about them, so who knows? There's some behind the scenes stuff that people don't really know, but I don't think financially he's going to suffer too terribly much.
No, I don't either. Okay, we're gonna cover one more trial, and then I have to take a quick break that we will talk about in just a second. So I don't know if y'all have heard Blake Lively thing is still happening. So this past week was a little precarious. So
It was odd.
again with things that don't make sense. There were some filings on both sides that honestly didn't make sense, weren't applicable, things that just were not done correctly. Again, at the end of the day, they're both at fault here, so I think they're both just kind of grasping for straws. But so it appeared that Blake's attorneys, which I feel like should know what they're doing, I feel like I mean,
Right?
one would think.
You would think
They
so.
made all these filings against Justin Baldoni's team to say like that basically they were trying to have Taylor removed from all the issue.
Right.
But the problem was that the issue that they filed this on is not even because they've got, and listen, maybe they lost track because they've got 1,700 lawsuits, it feels like with it. Maybe they lost track too because I know I have. But the one that actually involves Taylor was not in the state that they filed this in.
See, and I never saw that come out. I knew it
Yeah, it was
happened.
supposedly like the one that Taylor is, and when we say involved in, Taylor's not guilty of
Subpoenaed
anything, but
for.
yeah, the one she's subpoenaed for is actually in the state of New York. But they filed this paperwork in California.
Listen, those lawyers.
Geography is sometimes confusing. I do understand. But yeah, so that got struck out. But so then people were like, "Oh, that was a big win for Blake." No, it's because they. No, it was filed incorrectly. Like y'all, calm down. I think in the end, will Taylor still have to give some kind of statement, whatever? Probably. Now, if you guys think that you're going to get some hearing where you're going to see Taylor on the stand,
That's not happening.
y'all are in the wrong
This is
planet.
something that will happen in a lawyer's office.
She probably won't even be in the room. It
Right.
would, at most, would be on Zoom, but most likely it's going to be her attorney. It's not even going to be her. And I realize that I have, y'all, the drama that you people are creating on the
It's
internet of
beyond.
what you think that Blake is trying to get threaten Taylor with. First of all, okay, do I think Blake has been a bit of a crappy friend to Taylor through this situation? Yes. I'm going to go ahead and say that I agree with that. Do I think that Blake is trying to blackmail Taylor? No.
I do think
Well,
Blake's smart enough to not do that.
like, y'all come on now. Like, here's the thing. I think this spun out of control on Blake. I don't think Blake ever went into this intending for Taylor to ever have to get involved. And so now, do I think Blake used Taylor's name with Justin while they were filming?
Yes.
Yeah. Do I think she should have? No.
Right.
But I don't think Blake for 1 second ever thought that this would happen. And so for you guys to think that she's like literally trying to blackmail Taylor, y'all are nuts.
I'll be honest, I don't think Blake realized with all
No.
that she's doing and everything that it's encompassing, how involved it was going to make her personal life.
I
But
don't either.
she's too far in to turn back now. And unfortunately,
Well, and that's unfortunately the problem now
relationships.
because I think it's the problem on both sides. I think for Justin, I think he's probably like on Feet Finder right now trying to earn extra money to fight this because he
Don't
does
blame
not
him.
have the money they have.
Yeah.
And so I think for him, he's so far in, but he's also like, well, if I bow out now, I'm permanently blackballed, which I kind of think he is anyway, but
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
You're not that great of an actor anyway, but okay. Um, and then for Blake, yeah, how does she backtrack now? Like you
Right.
can't. And so I think now it's damage control, which is I think what her attorneys were attempting to do, and we just perhaps the intern sent it
But
to
you
the
don't
wrong state.
understand why they're not already both sides saying, guys, can we please come to some kind of common ground here and just make
I
things
still think at the end of the day, we're going to come to something like that. I do not.
why not do it now?
To be honest, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's two hard-headed camps going head to head. And I think that they just continue with the smear campaigns against each other, and they're just seeing if they can destroy the other one enough to win, so to speak. But
Like I can
I
see
do.
from Justin's side where he's like, I don't want to concede because I do see how that would make him look maybe a little bit worse. But from her side, especially after last week with it, all this stuff about our friendships coming up and potentially those relationships are ruined or tarnished or whatever the case may be, like, at what point does she say enough damage has been done
Yeah,
to all come to the table? Because I would imagine as soon as her camp is ready for that, they could come to an agreement pretty quickly.
yeah. Well, and I think that I don't know. And Becca knows this. I said to her the last. I am having. It's very
It's
parasocial.
hard for you, yeah.
This is really hard for me because y'all know that I adore Blake Lively, but I will fight someone over Taylor. And so I just, and I already know that Blake is probably a mean girl in real life. So that's not new to me.
Right.
But the thought that potentially, yeah, any of this, I mean, I don't believe she tried to extort Taylor, but just any of that, like in my head, it's hard for me, and I just can't believe it. And I've seen the things like, well, why hasn't Taylor put out a statement supporting Blake? Well, first of all, y'all, it's active litigation.
Right.
First of all. So even if she is wholly in Blake's corner, she can't do that. No one can.
Yeah.
I mean, Hugh Jackman hasn't done that. Bradley Cooper hasn't done that. People that are close to them have not done that other than her own sister.
Right.
I mean, nobody has done that because you can't do that in active litigation. Nor have you met Taylor Swift? She does not do
Right.
that for
She doesn't make
anyone.
statements for a lot of things.
And so I don't think that is weird. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's weird that we haven't seen them together. I don't think we will. We did get a couple questions this week on do we think this is why we've not seen Taylor? I do think I do think Taylor's trying to take a break from everybody and everything. I do think there's probably part of it that is like she doesn't want to walk into something, have people screaming out questions about Blake to her and just adding to the drama. But I think one thing that Taylor's really good about, which I would have to imagine is actually really hard for her, is that she can't attend a lot of things because it would take away the attention from the cause, the person, whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
why has she not been to a Gracie Abrams concert, at least that we know of?
Yeah.
Well, there's not beef with Gracie, but this show should be about Gracie. And the second Taylor shows up, it's not about Gracie anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like when she went to Coachella last year and watched the Bleachers set. It wasn't about the Bleachers. It was about Taylor and Travis.
Right.
And so, this weekend they had the 15 and Mahomes event in Vegas. We don't know if Taylor was in Vegas. We never saw her, but we saw Travis. And of course, people were like, oh. But if she's there, she's taking away from whatever it is.
Right.
And so I think it's the same thing. Like, for instance, she is able to sneak in some places, especially if it's overseas. Cara Delevingne was in, was it Cabaret in the West End in London last year?
Yeah.
So when she was on a break, she snuck in through the back door and watched it. Like, that's the only way she can do things publicly. But I do have a feeling that she's like, I do not want to be walking in somewhere for my friend's event and people are screaming out, what about Blake? What about Blake? I'm sure she's like, I don't want to deal with that.
Right.
Because that too, the fact that she would walk in, not make a statement, is going to be just something else to fuel the fire.
Right. Yeah.
So that's our legal update.
Way.
No, I'm going to pause for just a second.
Okay.
All right, brief intermission. So that's where we're at with Blake. I'm hoping for the best, but I'm fearing the worst, is what I'll say.
That's fair. Yeah.
But Taylor talk, we have not seen Taylor this week. We had those pictures on Mother's Day. So we do have signs of life. We know they're fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
But the American Music Awards are next Monday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, and 5 p.m. Pacific. Thank you very much.
Look at you showing out today.
I know. You can catch it on CBS or Paramount Plus, however you procure either of those. But Taylor is up for a few awards. These award shows are so weird, and there's so many things and so many categories and like different, like how do you vote? This was
Award.
we could vote for this. So usually I feel like Taylor does better when we vote for things, but people have fans all over. It's just,
I was going to say, there are some artists that their fans will come out for these things.
Yeah.
It's not always a shoe-in.
yeah, so we're going to run through real quick the categories that she's nominated in and kind of give our thoughts. Obviously, end of the day, we want her to sweep everything. Probably won't happen. Could, but I feel like we're kind of on the precipice of now. The Eras Tour's been over long enough. There's some other things that were super popular. But I will say, we'll go through these. There's a couple of things and people that were nominated that I was like, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody listened to that. Okay. But first is Collab of the Year, which is where I have a typo. I don't know if you noticed. Posting Morgan Wallenberg.
Nice.
I don't know who Morgan Wallenberg is, but it's just Morgan Wallen. Anyway, Collab of the Year. So we had Taylor and Post Malone with Fortnite, Rose and Bruno Mars for APT. I don't know what that is.
I don't know that one.
Post and Morgan again for I Had Some Help. Marshmello and Kane Brown with Miles on It, which I was unfamiliar with actually until last week, and now Judd listens to it all the time.
I do like Miles on It.
Kendrick and SZA with Luther, and Lady Gaga and Bruno Die With a Smile. again, it goes back to I do not feel like Fortnite was the strongest song for the big lead
And it's
single.
old news now.
Yeah.
That's not current anymore.
I am going to say that I think it's between three things. I'm thinking it's between Kendrick and SZA with Luther. Everyone loves Lady Gaga and Bruno with Die With a Smile, but I feel like it's old now too.
Okay. So
And then the other one is maybe Post and Morgan with I Had Some Help.
okay, see, and I thought that one, and I was like, well, that's old news. I was going between either Kendrick and SZA with Luther or Lady Gaga and Bruno.
Same.
My reasoning was, I feel like on fan voted awards, Lady Gaga's fans come out and vote.
They
So,
do. And
I didn't love that song, and it's a little bit old news. I do think it's got the potential that she could
the only
take.
thing with Kendrick and SZA is that they're on tour together right now.
That's true. So it feels a little bit
So
more current.
yeah, I'm gonna. And if I'm hoping, if it's not Taylor, I'm hoping it's Kendrick and SZA.
Same.
So,
Same.
artist of the year, we got Chappell Roan, Zach Bryan, Kendrick Lamar, Morgan Wallen, Post Malone, Sabrina Carpenter, SZA, and Taylor.
We need to know how these people are even nominated because
Zach Bryan, why do you people? Ugh. This is a tough one. I mean, again, I would hope for Taylor. I'm somewhere probably between Kendrick Lamar, Chappell, and Sabrina. So my choice would be Kendrick if it's not going to be Taylor.
Oh, see, I've got it between Morgan, Post, or Sabrina.
Okay, and who did you pick of that?
I think from that, I would lean more towards Sabrina.
See, but doesn't it feel like she's fallen off the face of the earth?
A little, but I think I just don't want Chappell to win.
Oh, I can't. No. No, I don't want her to win anything.
Not,
I don't want to validate her behavior.
yeah.
Okay, so on album of the year, we've got Cowboy Carter by Beyonce, Short and Sweet with Sabrina, Hit Me Hard and Soft with Billie Eilish, Brat, Charlie XCX, GNX by Kendrick, F1 Trillion by Post, and then TTPD by Taylor. I hope TTPD here. This is one of the ones where I was leaning more towards her. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people were really in their Brat summer, but again, that feels over. I don't see the Billy thing, but every time she wins, I'm like, what just happened here?
Yeah. But they
Post-
all feel like old news to me. So
Yeah, and the Post Malone album, it's not that I don't like it or him, but like it just didn't get the traction that.
no. All of his collabs seem to get the traction, but the album as a whole
Yeah.
didn't seem to get the recognition that you would.
I actually think Cowboy Carter may win,
I do too.
especially because she is on tour right now, and I just think that helps. It keeps you front of mind.
But see, she's on tour, but nobody's really talking about
Nobody's going. Nobody's
it. No. Kind of.
But next up, we've got favorite touring artists. We've got Billie Eilish, Luke Combs. I'm sorry, I didn't know that he still toured.
I didn't know that he did anything noteworthy on his tours.
No, Morgan Wallen, Zach Bryan, and Taylor. I do feel like we get this one.
If she doesn't get this one, I'm gonna be shocked.
Yeah, I feel like that.
Yeah.
Another typo. I put Lady Gag. Favorite female pop artist. We've got Billy, Chappell, Lady Gaga, Sabrina, and Taylor. I mean, of course, I want Taylor. If it's not her, I hope it's Sabrina. But I could see it being Chappell Roan because those people are weird.
I'd even rather Billy win it over Chappell.
Same, honestly, same. And then for favorite pop album, Short and Sweet again, Hit Me Hard and Soft, Brat, The Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess by Chappell Roan, and then TTPD. I got a bad feeling on this one.
I do too. I think Chappell might take that
I
one.
think she may take that one,
Yeah.
which is stupid, but alas. So there's all kinds of hoopla. Will Taylor be at the AMAs? There's a lot of stuff happening on her website that spells out the AMAs. Also, she's offering like discounts of 26%, which is the 26th, the day of the event. I think it's definitely hinting towards her being there. I am not of the camp we're getting an announcement, though.
Yeah, I think we'll get into that more in the questions section.
Yeah, we'll see. But let's talk about the NFL. Brock Purdy made some money this weekend.
Listen, he finally got an extension. We've been talking about it, wondering, and I still can't figure out why it took him so long to get to this. Was it the guaranteed amount? Was it the no
I
trade?
don't know. So he got 5 years, 265 million with a no trade clause.
181 million is guaranteed, which good on you, my guy.
Yeah, because wasn't he making like 900,000?
Yeah, I was like less than a million.
So he's like, okay, great. I can maybe get a new
Yeah.
truck now.
That's why I don't
Um,
think that he was like coming in hot and heavy with his
I
demands.
mean,
And that,
anything was more than he was making.
yeah,
I mean,
I
like, what
think
are
he
we
was just
doing?
going to be excited to get an extension.
Yeah. So good for him. I still don't think it saves the season. I don't think anything changes, honestly.
I think we're going to have another dumpster fire season for 49ers.
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan is on my hot seat for sure. This weekend we did have the 15 in Mahomes event. Man, I have typos everywhere.
But we get it. I knew what you meant.
They had their event in Vegas, golf tournament, and then their charity super cute moment when Taylor donated an autographed TTPD guitar, and Travis ran up the bid, and then he was like, "Oh wait, I already have that one." I loved it.
I love it. I love that he was like, what a good supportive guy to be like, yeah, we're hiking this thing up.
Yeah, so that was fun. I thought Brittany looked like $1 million in every picture I saw.
Okay, listen, I never texted you about it because I was going to talk to you about it today. She looks phenomenal. And not just like, of course, physically she looks phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
She just looks so like relaxed and enjoying life right now.
Yeah.
Like her and Patrick both. There were a couple of pictures that were taken of them at the event and on the red carpet and at the golf course. And I was like, they just look like so much, I don't want to say happier because I don't think that they looked unhappy before, but it
Right.
just so much more in sync and just relaxed
Yeah.
with each other and enjoying this phase of life. And I love to see that.
I'm telling you, I don't know when this was gonna on any bingo card that we had, but yeah, I am all in. We got our. We were very confused by this. I'll be honest. We got the NFL schedule releases. They made a big deal at the draft that they were releasing on the 14th, but yet, and even the day of the 14th, it was like 7 p.m. tonight, and yet we like already knew where everyone was playing.
I
don't
know.
understand.
Because I was like, are we missing something? Is there something?
Are we? Is my calendar wrong? Like, do we? I didn't put this in the notes, but did you see where the Colts had to retract their announcement? Because every team has started doing like I don't know if they've always done this. Past few years they have. Teams do like these video announcements where they'll bring in like celebs or kind of some kind of little show or whatever to announce theirs. Well, they did something pretty much mocking Tyreek Hill getting pulled over. But so they had to take it down. But I did think it was funny that Tyreek Hill was like, I thought it was funny.
Yeah, he was like, too bad you guys had to delete that. That was funny. And
Yeah.
like,
Good
I
sport.
love that he can take a joke. Like,
Yeah.
self-deprecation goes a long way.
Yeah, especially when a lot of other things to criticize. I didn't really have a lot of notes about the Chiefs' schedule. I mean, it kind of did. The weird thing about this NFL schedule release is you already know who you're playing at home and who you're playing away. You just don't know what dates.
Right.
And then I think the biggest thing that you learn on the day of schedule release is actually when their bye week is.
Right. Which
and
are
so
like
that
smack dab in the middle. So that's good-ish, right?
I was wanting it more at the end because I feel like by then we're going to be banged up and tired.
Well, that's true too. But you don't want it too early in the season. Because
No, yeah. So I didn't really have a lot of notes on that, but I got all the week 1 games, I think, here. So I thought we'd run through them real quick and make some early predictions.
Okay.
And I even put like where they were playing.
You above and beyond this week.
Really,
Above
I'm
and
feeling
beyond.
it. All right, so the Cowboys are going to the Eagles.
Listen.
I was like, do we really have to talk
I
about
can't wait for this game just because of the hatred that those two teams
Oh,
have.
yeah.
Like, those are, even if
That
you
is a
don't-
great opening game for sure,
Yes.
though. Just like the fan bases and
Because
following.
even if you don't have a dog in the fight, everybody wants to see a really good game where two fan bases just really,
Hate each other.
really dislike each other. And the fact that they're at Philadelphia for this game
So
makes it even better.
I was super pumped they were going to be in Philly because I feel like in Dallas they're a little more reserved publicly,
Well,
and the
because we
Eagles
don't
are
really have a lot
bonkers.
to like back our smack.
Well, and it's like you're all the way out in Arlington, and like who's really there? I mean,
we're in a fancy place. We're not winning anything.
Yeah.
What are we going to say to you?
yeah, I am all about this being in Philadelphia. I don't know if this is I do have a shocking pick, though.
Okay, well, just to make a comment, I do love that because this is the first game, they will be unveiling their Super Bowl winning banner, and I do love that Dallas will be on the sideline to have to sit and watch that.
Did not even think about that. That is fantastic.
Yeah, so that'll be real enjoyable to watch.
Oh man, I didn't think about that. Is good. That
I
is
mean, I'm going Eagles on this game just because I don't know how Dak's going to come back and do being out for a year.
good. Well, I have a shocking pick here.
Okay, I want to hear your reasoning on this.
I'm going the Eagles. I mean,
I was like, what's going to be our why behind this?
no, no. My shocking pick here is that I do not think that Dallas is going to score in the game.
Oh, wow.
Now, I'm not saying that I think that it's going to be like a toilet bowl season for Dallas,
Right.
but we got a lot of new moving pieces. We got people coming back from injuries. We've got new coaching. We just got a lot of moving parts to go into Philadelphia with seriously probably the most stacked roster in NFL history 2 years running.
Yeah.
I truly think they're going to get shut out.
Well, listen, we would love to see it.
And here's what I think we're going to get to see. I think we're going to get to see George Pickens, who is now Dallas Cowboy. I think we're going to see him come off the field and throw that helmet at somebody.
I bet you he throws it all the way up into the Jones suite.
Yeah.
I bet you it makes it up there.
I'm telling you, that's what I think. I think they're going to get shut out. And I don't think the Eagles are going to run the table this season. I'm not saying that either. I just think this particular game has got something to it.
Behind it. Well, but also like your big players, you've got like your CeeDee Lamb and your Micah Parsons. They're still mad that they're a Dallas Cowboy.
Well, and like, we're already seeing all this footage of, like Patrick's had all the guys down in Dallas with him working. Like we're seeing Brock's already. You're seeing all these teams working together.
Yes.
You hadn't seen anything out of Dallas.
No, everybody's doing their own
In
thing.
fact, all I've been seeing is Micah Parsons is up in Cleveland working out with Myles Garrett.
Well, so saying that, do you think that that is a team issue or do you think that's a quarterback issue? Because usually it's on the quarterback to you would think lead and organize that and be like, hey guys, this is where I'm going to be and this is what I'm doing. I would love to have y'all down if you want to come. I don't know if Dak's like, you know what, I got a baby, I got another one on the way, and I'm in the middle of a complete house redo. I'm busy.
And I'm rehabbing an injury, so,
Right. And I've already been paid. I'll see you guys.
I think that's part of the problem. When you pay these guys before they've proven anything, then we got some problems.
Yeah.
Okay. Then our Chiefs head down to Brazil in the heat of the summer and play the Chargers. Trav is real pissed about this too.
Trav's not happy.
He is like, I do not like to sweat. He has said that before. And I have seen a lot of people saying they think the Chargers are going to win the conference this year. I don't know why.
Listen, feels too
Who did they get that was different than last season?
I don't think they had any big changes.
No, I mean, I believe Justin Herbert's Mr. Consistent, but we're not winning a game.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that was weird. I have something in my nail. I apologize.
I will be interested because they have said the field in Brazil is not the best. So, are you?
Great.
It's the first game. How long are we playing our star? Are we doing our starters the full game? I realize it's not.
I'd honestly not because listen, if somebody can get hurt, we will.
Yeah.
We will find a way. I don't. I'm not. This whole thing is just not good for me. But I do think
against the Chiefs. But listen.
Yeah, I don't love it. That's what I'm gonna tell you.
Don't.
All right. Next up, we've got Tampa at Atlanta. So, okay, first question: are we going Michael Penix or are we going Kirk Cousins? I think we're going Penix, right?
I mean, I think they're going to give, you would think they would give the vet the benefit of the doubt and let him start a game or two, but I'm going to tell you, if he doesn't come out looking like he is the next Tom Brady, I think they're going to stick Penix in real quick.
Well, and that's if Kirk is still there. We still need a quarterback in New Orleans, and we still need a quarterback in Pittsburgh. So,
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I don't see either team going after Kirk Cousins. I did see where the Saints said they are not pursuing Aaron Rodgers, which Listen, y'all don't have an answer, but that was a smart decision.
I mean, listen, Rodgers couldn't go to the Jets and turn them around. He's too old. He can't come to New Orleans and turn you guys around either.
I don't know that anyone can, but we'll just be nice about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Tampa here, though. I think Baker's gonna have, and I want him to have a good season.
I want him to have a stellar year this year.
Yeah. Again, another thing not on my bingo card being a Baker fan, but I am.
I know.
I just think Atlanta is such a dumpster fire right now. I think they've got some good pieces. I think Bijan Robinson will have a really good season. Go ahead and make a note, Becca. You may need to draft him for fantasy.
Okay. Got it.
Got it. Yeah.
Because we're not drafted Saquon this year, guys.
No, because the rumor. I have heard that it could have been just a rumor that he may not be the one on the cover of Madden, but if he is, let me go ahead and tell you guys, there's a rule of thumb: don't do it.
Don't do it.
Will get hurt. So, as someone who drafted Christian McCaffrey, trust me, that is what happens. Okay.
That was a tough.
That was a heartbreaker. All right, then we got the Bengals going to the Browns. Again, we don't know who the quarterback of the Browns is going to be. I'm assuming we're going to start Flacco, but I think Shador's going to come in quick.
Well, no, who's their other one? What's his
Dylan
name?
Gabriel or Kenny Pickett?
Kenny Pickett. I think they would go to him before they'll go to Shador.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how training camp goes.
I'm going to still go Bengals on that game
Oh,
only
yeah.
because, I mean, listen, their defense was weak last year, and I don't know that they've picked up enough weapons to really clean that up. However, it's the Browns. So,
I mean, it is Myles Garrett. So, I mean, Joe's going to have a run for his money in the pocket. But, yeah, it's the Bengals are going to have a decent season. Again, they've done nothing on defense, though. Trey Hendrickson, it does not sound like he's saying he's not playing if they don't give him a contract. So,
listen, more power to him. It sounds like
I was going to say, more power to you. I mean, I get mad about my job, but I still do it. I mean,
I don't typically like when they hold out and stuff, but it does sound like there might be more to this story than what we know, and it sounds like maybe some promises were made, and then
I think there's some problems between him and Zach Taylor, the head coach. Also, we've talked about this every year. I hate when these guys sit out. I think it's such a bad sportsmanship and a bad look. But also, if I'm Trey Hendrickson, there is literally no one on your defense, and you're not going to pay me? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Listen, people in Kansas City are like, "Come on down, Trey. We'll pay you."
We'll take you.
Okay, this next one's a little bit interesting-ish. Dolphins at the Colts. So, we're not sure yet who's going to start for the Colts, if it will be Anthony Richardson, now senior, because he's had a baby, or Daniel Jones.
Listen, I'd put Riley Leonard in before any of them.
That's because you love him, but I mean, I don't disagree.
I do love him. Daniel Jones, I just don't think that man can mentally come back and play football.
I don't know that he ever could, but okay.
That's fair. The only thing about Anthony Richardson I've heard about this offseason is that he had some anesthesia to put himself out to get a massive tattoo. So
apparently, I keep reading about this. This happened with several of the NFL players. They're going under 4 and 5. Deshaun Watson did it too. 4 and 5 hours under anesthesia just for a tattoo.
Why?
What if you didn't wake up?
Right. I just feel like that's a lot of commitment for a tattoo.
Am I the only one sometimes fearful that I won't wake up? Is that just me?
I'm going to tell you, I have one tattoo, and it is very small. It took less than 5 minutes for them to do, and just sitting there, I thought, I will never do this again.
Yeah.
Mentally, just like, put me to sleep and then go to town on my back with a needle. Why?
No.
I can't even see it to enjoy it.
And what if you're not a stomach sleeper? How are you going to sleep for the next week?
I mean, that's true. My lower back will start hurting if I lay on my stomach too long.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going Dolphins. I mean,
yeah.
Godspeed to Tua in his head, but I still think they win this game.
Who is it that went? What quarterback went to the Dolphins? It's
Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson.
Didn't they draft somebody too, or did I make that up? Because I'm gonna tell you.
Quinn Ewers. What are we doing? Quinn Ewers.
That's right. Well, I think Quinn will play over Zach.
I think if there's a game that he may get some playing time, it'll be against the Colts too.
Well, and I do think he'll get playing time this year because we know Tua's just not.
Bless him. He's
Listen,
not gonna,
one tap to that helmet, he's going to be out on.
yeah, he's gonna be out. Hopefully not dead, but I mean he'll be out.
He's going to be out.
All right, this next one, I may have a surprising pick here. I don't know. I actually no, never mind. I know what you're gonna do. Carolina Panthers versus Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville.
Listen, I'm going Carolina.
Same. I thought I was gonna surprise you. Then I was like Bryce Young. She's gonna go
Right?
Carolina.
Listen, I I don't think that they're going to have a stellar season
No.
because it's still the Panthers at the end of the day. However, I don't think that their season will be as abysmal as it has been. I do think that they'll get a couple more wins.
Yeah. I do on the reverse, however, think Jacksonville will have a pretty awful season. I think the only shining light would be Travis Hunter, but I got a bad feeling he's going to get hurt trying to play too much.
100%.
So, yeah, definitely going Carolina here. This next one I do find interesting. The Raiders at the Patriots. You know, everybody, when you see the too early to predict, draft, all that,
Yeah.
everybody's like picking the Patriots to tank this season. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win a Super Bowl, but I'm not picking them to tank.
I don't think they're going to tank. I think they're going to do pretty well. You've got Drake May, who's still pretty young, but he's not bad.
No.
They got him some pretty good weapons this year.
That being said, though, I do have the Raiders in this one.
See, I went Patriots, but I think that's more because I'm really willing them to win something.
Yeah. I'm worried about the Raiders this season. I think I've said that before on here. They got some weapons this year, and I'm a little worried.
So who are they? What is Geno Smith going to be their QB this year?
Geno Smith's the quarterback. Max is back. They got Ashton Genty.
That's right. I forgot Ashton went there.
They got a receiver, too, that made me worried. Now I can't think of who it is. Welcome to a show where we talk about not knowing anything. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, and Pete Carroll, I'm a believer. I'm a Pete Carroll believer.
Yeah.
Now this next one, Lord. The Cardinals versus the Saints. I mean, I'm going to go Cardinals because Kyler Murray's better than the other two, but also they've got Marvin Harrison Jr. You still got James Conner who can still run. So I don't know what we're doing in New Orleans. I mean,
Well, listen, and that's the thing. I don't know that New Orleans knows what we're doing in New Orleans. So
Yeah.
I think that I don't necessarily know that it's going to go in and we're going to see Kyler have the highest scoring game of his career, but
No.
I don't think it's going to be embarrassing for the Cardinals at all.
no. Next up could be an interesting matchup. Aaron Rodgers has not signed anywhere. Of course, the murmurings have been that he's going to go to the Steelers. If he is, I don't understand why he hasn't yet. But the Steelers are playing Jets week 1, which if he does sign with the Steelers, boy, that'd be funny.
I hope he signs with the Steelers, and I hope they play the Jets, and I hope that Justin Fields crushes him.
Yeah. So it's funny for the Steelers because they gave Justin Fields away to the Jets. And then if Aaron comes there, obviously he's coming from the Jets. This will be DK Metcalf's first game with the Steelers, and this will be the Steelers' first game without George Pickens. TJ Watt is still in Pittsburgh currently.
I'm happy.
He ain't happy, and he is also coming off an injury, which seems to happen a lot with him.
He's getting older.
Yeah, so I don't know. The problem here is we don't know who the quarterback is for the Steelers. Today, it's either Mason Rudolph or Will Howard from Ohio State. So that being said, I'm going Jets with Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson.
Agreed.
And I think they picked up some good defensive weapons. Now, if the Steelers get Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to go Steelers.
See, that won't even change it. I'm really hoping for the Jets. I think they've gotten their toxicity out of the facility. Got rid of your
You still have Breece Hall too, and when he's healthy, he's a good running back.
I think you've got some new coaches to breathe some new life in there. We got rid of Aaron. We don't, have Zach that's kind of pulling it down, and I think that they're going to have a much better season this year.
Okay. Next up, we've got the Giants playing at Washington against the Commanders. We don't know yet who's starting for the Giants. We assume it's Russell Wilson. We would love it if it's Jackson Dart. They do still have Malik Neighbors, but I'm going Commanders. I am curious to see if Jaden Daniels has a sophomore year slump.
all eyes are going to be on him this year.
Yeah, and that alone there's something to that. But
Yeah.
Giants, and it's at a home field, I'm still going to go Commanders.
Yep. Agreed on that one.
The Titans are going to be at Denver. Who is the quarterback of the Titans right now? Is it going to be Cam Ward, or is it Will Levis, or what are we doing?
Well, I think I don't know that they've necessarily stated it yet, but they've still alluded to Will Levis being their guy.
What are we doing?
And I don't know that he was your guy
Ever? Yeah. I'm going Broncos. I'm worried about the Broncos this season, too. I think Sean Payton's right, wrong, or indifferent. He can win some games. Bo Nix.
Good.
You all
I
know
think the Titans are the new Jets. You're just going to lose everything.
Yeah, which is so dumb.
It
didn't have to be that way. Just think about this. 2 years ago, you had Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And DeAndre Hopkins.
And you had what's-his-face as your coach.
Yeah, Vrabel. Like, what are we doing?
Listen,
I don't
that's
know.
not front office problems.
Next up, I think this is one of the most interesting matchups. Actually, the next 3 or 4, I think, are some of the most interesting for week 1. The Lions are going to play the Packers. And I actually am going Packers.
Oh, 100%.
Are you 100?
Yeah. Listen, 49ers are not going to do anything this year.
We're not talking about the 49ers. I skipped one by accident, and I'm talking about the Lions and the Packers.
Oh, listen. I was Googling something and, okay, Lions, Packers.
I accidentally skipped that other one.
I did go Packers because I think the Lions might be a little too in their head this year.
So they've got that combination at running back with David Montgomery and Jamar Gibbs. One of them's coming off an injury. I'm not sure which one it is. I think it's Gibbs is coming off the injury. No, see, even that feels wrong. I don't know. You still have him on St. Brown. Aiden Hutchinson, I'm assuming, is going to be back. You've got Frank Ragnoy on the line. I don't know. I think the Lions are going to be good, but
100%.
I still, again, you're in Green Bay, so I'm going to go Packers.
Yeah.
Now we can talk about the 49ers at the Seahawks, and I think we're going to disagree.
Okay, I'm going Seahawks on this one.
Yeah, I'm going 49ers.
I just don't know that their offense can pick it up enough. I'll be interested to see because McCaffrey's not going to be what people want him to be this year either. Now, I do think
that he ever will again
is going to be top notch because I do think with their acquisition of Saleh as their defensive coordinator, he's fantastic at that. Head coach is not his wheelhouse, but defensive coordinator I think is where he thrives, and I think it's also in an atmosphere where he's comfortable. So I think the 49ers defense is going to be really strong, but I think that the Seahawks might be able to pull out a win on this one. And they're going to win using Jalen Milroe.
Well, I was just about to say, are you thinking that Sam Darnold is going to win this? And if so, even if we went with Jalen Milroe, who are they throwing the ball to? They got rid of Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. Who is the ball going to?
I think maybe Cooper Kupp could catch a few still.
I forget about that, so yeah, maybe. But now, I'm going to go 49ers. I don't think it's going to be a great season for them, but I do think that one.
Yeah.
All right, Texans at the Rams. I think this will be a very interesting matchup. And I think that this game will be very telling for both teams for the whole season.
I could agree with that. I hope that CJ Stroud comes back with some confidence this year. Listen, even with his slump last year, he was still good. It wasn't embarrassing. But now the Rams still have Stetson Bennett as one of their backups, and I just don't even know if we have proof of life at this point.
I saw a picture of him the other day, and he was throwing the football. I didn't recognize him. He doesn't even look the same.
Really?
Yeah, I should have sent it to you, and I don't know where I saw it, but I was like, who is that guy? And then they were like, oh, Stetson Bennett. And I was like...
Like you forget he exists.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting. Matt Stafford got what I would assume is his last contract. I'm pretty sure this is the last year or two for him. You did get rid of Cooper Kupp. I don't know. I'm going Texans. That's what I want to happen. But, last year I was real high on C.J. Stroud, and look what happened there. So, I feel like it could be a me problem.
It's possible. And Tank Dell's not going to be back this year.
I don't think that dude's leg's ever going to be the same. I saw that thing explode in real life. It was just not right.
Not good.
Probably the biggest game of week 1 is the Ravens are going to play the Bills.
I mean, I'm going Bills, but I think that's more of I don't like the Ravens.
Oh, I mean, I like them, but
I just,
here's the thing, though. Everyone is convinced this is the Bills' year, that this is the year they're going to win the Super Bowl.
they were
And,
convinced of that last year, too.
well, and the thing is, like, I like Josh Allen a lot.
Yeah. They're a
But
good team.
I want the Ravens to win because I want people to get off their soapbox about the Bills.
Okay, now I can support that.
And Derrick Henry, I mean, hard to go against him.
Yeah.
And they've got DeAndre Hopkins now, which is so wrong on Brett Veach's part. I never disagree with Brett. I know that we have to believe in everything he does, but I'm not happy about this one.
No.
So yeah, I'm just kind of ready for people to like bring it down a few notches on Buffalo, so I'm going to go Ravens.
I don't think it'll happen this year. I think they're still going to be hyped on them, but
I'm not saying it's going to be the Chiefs this year, but I am saying I don't think it's going to be the Bills.
agreed. Yeah.
Okay, and then last one for week 1, we got the Vikings at the Bears. Now, who is the current quarterback of the Vikings?
That is.
Because we've traded away Sam Darnold. Oh, it's J.J. McCarthy.
That's right. Ooh.
We really sound like we don't know anything this week. We're struggling.
That's a lot to remember. I really hope that JJ comes in strong. I mean, your backup Sam Howell, so there's not a ton of pressure there.
We hope that you do well because that's not good. I tell you, if I'm Justin Jefferson, I'm pissed.
For sure.
Because, like, I'm a generational talent and I'm really dealing with some subpar issues here.
No.
I actually am going Bears on this.
Listen, no one can ever convince me that Caleb Williams can rally a team. That man has complained more in the off season. His newest complaint now is that none of the coaches have sat down and taught him how to study film. Sir, you're in the NFL.
Yeah.
Nobody's sitting their quarterbacks down and teaching them how to read film.
Yeah, that was real weird to me. But yet not, it was weird like to hear it said, but not surprising in theory that it's him.
But then you have people like RG3 that come out and they're like, yeah, that's malpractice on the coach's part, da-da-da. And then Kurt Warner comes in and is like, sir, he's in the NFL. Never in my ever have I had a coach come in the NFL and sit down and teach me how to read film. Sit with me and watch film, sure.
Yeah.
Teach me how to watch it. Like, sir, you should have been doing that in high school.
I mean, they're teaching my 9-year-old how to watch film right now, so.
No,
I don't.
Caleb needs to sit down and shut up.
Agreed.
I'm tired of him. The season hasn't started. He is Angel Reese in the NFL. That's what it is.
Oh, well, I'm glad we brought her up. Let's go ahead and talk about her. So, WNBA season kicked off. I'm happy it's here. And we started out with a bang. The Indiana Fever played the Chicago Sky, which if you're not familiar, the Fever is Caitlin Clark, and the Sky is Angel Reese. If you're not familiar, their whatever has been going on for years now since they were in college. Angel won the national championship against Caitlin, and they had a bit of a tussle in the game. Shocker. And Caitlin actually got called for a flagrant foul, which
That felt like a stretch.
But she also got a triple-double in the game, and LeBron James even tweeted her about it, like was applauding her. And then Angel Reese decides to come into the picture even more and say, Michael Jordan never lost a championship.
Yeah.
You don't come for LeBron James?
Yeah, I don't think we correct the LeBron James. Especially when complimenting someone.
Yeah, like, what are you doing?
And when the Fever obliterated you guys, 93-58 was the final score of the game. Angel, sit down.
And they asked her in her press conference about the whole situation and the foul, and she said it was a basketball call. The refs got it right. What? She does worse on her bad days than that. It was crazy.
Watching Angel play, I'm like, how did you get drafted?
She is just...
Even watching her dribble the ball down the court, I'm like, that doesn't... Listen, I'm no athlete. But I can tell you that doesn't look right.
Yeah.
I mean, she's dribbling all the way up to her chin. I could steal
Getting
that
it
ball.
stolen from her, and I was like, this is hilarious.
No.
There was some good news in the WNBA for my favorite player, Kelsey Plum, though. So she had her season debut with the LA Sparks. I'm still bitter that she's not still with the Vegas Aces, which is already spelling trouble because Asia has got like no help. I don't know what Becky Harmon was doing. Anyway, Kelsey got 37 points in their game, which was the most by any player in WNBA history to debut with the team. She had 6 assists and 5 steals. She made 4 3-pointers. This is what I think happened. I think Kelsey went through a divorce last year from Darren Waller from the NFL.
Yep.
And I think Kelsey said, you know what? F all of you. F Darren, F the Aces. I'm just going to show out. And that she did. It was amazing. I was so happy for her. She will not, I can't be a Sparks fan though because they've got the girl that I don't like anymore. I can't speak her name. But I was super pumped to see that for Kelsey. Sparks won against the Golden State Valkyries, which is the team that Kate Martin got traded to.
That's right.
So it was kind of fun to see Kate play against Kelsey because she was kind of one of her mentors in LA or in Vegas.
Yeah.
So it was fun. I don't know if you know, but the NBA playoffs are happening.
Didn't know it. Didn't know it.
So here's the thing. I don't typically gamble on sports, but I did make a few bets this week on the NBA playoffs. I lost every single one. Feels right. But like by so close, and so it kept motivating me to keep going. It's addicting. I just have to stop. But
It's a problem.
the Knicks have finally done it and made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Like I didn't even know that this would happen in our lifetime again. But they took out the Celtics, who were without Jason Tatum. He tore his ACL.
Okay.
But I tell you, the Knicks have kind of become the Lakers. It used to be if you wanted to go see celebrities at a basketball game, you would go to the Lakers. The front row is like Jack Nicholson, and it still is for sure.
Right.
But the Knicks are for sure becoming that. Like it's crazy. It is like loaded with that. The Thunder finally took down the Nuggets, so they're moving ahead. The Timberwolves took down the Warriors. So the Pacers. I mean, it's a very interesting year. So if you're going to start watching,
Now might be the time.
now's the time.
Okay.
And then in our other piece of sporting news, our favorite golfer won the PGA Championship this weekend.
So good.
Yay! It was a great tournament too.
It really was. I mean, at the start of the final day yesterday, Scotty was just off. He wasn't hitting the shots.
I was worried.
But I'm going to tell you, there needs to be a case study done on his mental game of how he can snap out of like, one bad hole and get it back together the next hole. Like, forget about it and move on.
Yep.
Because as I was watching that, and I was thinking, golf has to be one of the most mentally exhausting sports to play.
Yeah.
Because in essence, you're out there alone. You don't have a team that's rallying behind you. You don't really have a coach other than your caddy who's giving you some pointers. But
Yeah.
you have those long walks in between every time you're hitting that ball for your brain to just be telling you, hey, way to suck. Way to miss the green. Like,
Yep.
it's fascinating. But I love to see him win. I didn't realize it was only the second major that he's won. He's won the Masters twice.
Yeah.
But this was only the second, different major that he's won. So I love to see that. And I just
Yeah.
love how genuinely excited his wife seems. Like,
Yeah.
they're all shocked by it every time.
There was funny. I saw a couple of memes this weekend that were like, "Man, Scotty Scheffler is really a case to be studied." I mean, guy gets arrested and then comes out and
He really turned his life around.
yeah, he's really done something with himself. But I was super pumped to see that.
We love that.
Any other sports news on your end?
I don't think so. I'm just real glad we're inching closer and closer to football season.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like some preseason stuff, we're still getting
Anything. Training camp, anything.
Yeah, we'll take it all.
Would you like to answer some questions?
I'd love to get into some questions and some names. I want to see how you pronounce these.
Okay, so I've got 2 ideas on this first one. I'm gonna go Selena.
Okay, that's what I assume. How
You don't
else would
think
you say it?
Well, because in Kansas there's a city that's named that, and it's Salina.
Oh, well then that's fair on how that could throw you off.
Okay, but I went Selena. So Selena asked, or Selena, thoughts on if what TS will do at the AMAs, announcements, perform, red carpet, no show. I'll let you go first.
Okay, I don't think she's gonna go. I don't think she'll be there. I don't think all of the stuff she's doing on the website with like making things spell AMAs, doing the
Yeah.
26% all that. I don't think that that's alluding to any Easter eggs. I just think it's saying, hey, AMAs are coming up. Throw your votes in there. I think
Yeah.
that's all that is. So I'm not anticipating her being there, which means I also don't think any kind of announcements or any of that stuff will be made this year. I will be thrilled if she wants
Yeah.
to do red carpet. We would love to see that.
Oh, please do.
I just
Especially if you want to go together. Oh my gosh. I would die.
You guys really need a red carpet moment. I don't,
Yeah.
at this point, I don't care if it's the red carpet to like the movie premiere of Where the Wild Things Are. Like, I don't care what it is. I just need them together on a red carpet.
You know, I have gone back and forth on what I thought about this question, but I too am leaning towards the no show thing. I think if I had answered this question last week, I would have actually said I thought she was going, but I think her not going to the 15 of my homies this weekend put me in the camp that she's wanting to stay
Well,
home.
but
So.
she doesn't typically go to that event. She goes
We
to
went last year. Remember last year was when they were sitting in those chairs and they pulled those close together? Remember?
there last year.
Yes, remember she was in the green dress.
No, that was at the gala. That's a different time of year.
That's right.
Yeah. She
Okay,
didn't
I
go
don't
to
know.
Vegas. Now there were pictures that alluded to maybe she was on the golf course, but
Yeah, the little sundress. You're
yes.
right. I did get those confused. Yeah, I'm actually thinking she's.
That they are totally loving this time that they are getting this off season because this is
Yeah.
the first off season where she hasn't been touring. So I think that they're just thoroughly enjoying. She's probably in the studio recording some things. We know he records and does so much stuff in the summers
Yeah.
or off season. I think that they're probably just like really leaning into it. And it's like, listen, we'll skip all this stuff. We just want to be at home, hang out with our friends.
Here's what I will say though. I do think if she shows up, they knew in advance she was going to win something.
That's true.
I don't see her showing up if she's about to get swept.
Yeah. Do you think they would tell some of these artists ahead of time?
Yes, because it would give them such a boost if she's there.
I mean, I could see that. I just didn't know if that's like a practice that they.
Oh, I don't know if it is, but I could just see them like being like, "Well, we'll get our ratings up if she's here." So,
Right.
okay,
No.
this next one, Shauna.
So I say Shanna because I know a Shauna and it's spelled differently, and I worked with a Shanna that was spelled like this.
Okay, great. I'm just gonna keep trucking because I don't know.
Okay.
Said pretend like I'm dumb, and then she put in parentheses because I am. I love women's basketball, and I don't understand the Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese drama.
Listen, my notes for this were Mandy, take it away.
Okay. Well, honestly, Shauna, whatever your name is, there really shouldn't be any drama, but Angel Reese is a messy human being, so there
Well,
is.
it really started in college.
It did. So what happened was, like back in the day, it was LSU. Angel Reese played for LSU. Caitlin Clark played for Iowa. They met in the national championship game. LSU ended up winning, but at the time, that was when the Caitlin Clark hype really took off because she was having this like record-breaking historical senior season.
He was the reason we were all watching.
Yeah, seriously. And then Angel and the LSU Tigers won. There were some big moments where Angel was real petty, like she flashed her hand and like pointed at her ring finger, like give me the
A
ring.
lot
kind
of
of thing.
jealousy.
Yeah, I just think Angel's real messy, and I think Caitlyn like plays it real coy, and I think honestly that feeds Angel more, which is probably why Caitlyn does it because we love a petty moment. But so they're in the NBA now, and it's like pretty much since day one, even at the draft, it became all about like, oh, everybody's tuning into the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark, and then you got the people like Angel Reese who can't see that as bringing value to the game that you play and brings more money to you, so maybe you'll get paid more.
Yeah.
And they just see it as like, well, what about me? Kind of thing.
And I can see from Angel's side, like she did have some good moments in college basketball.
Yeah.
She's done a lot.
She's a good basketball player.
Yeah.
Like,
So I can understand her being like, but guys, I'm here too. I get that. But I think the way that she addressed it was more of like you're just jealous that the spotlight's on Caitlyn.
Yeah, and so honestly, last season when they met in the games, there was always hysteria over the fact that it was the two of them playing each other, but it really was kind of like a nothing burger. The game last week was the first time that it really kind of reared its ugly head. Both have always tried to say publicly that they don't have beef and they don't get it, whatever.
Well,
This was the
Caitlyn
first.
said that.
Yeah.
And Angel will say it, but then make a snide remark, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay.
This was the first time, though, that it kind of came to a boil, and
But do you think it came to a boil because it was the two of them, or do you think it came to a boil because Angel had just shoved one of the other Fever players, and Caitlyn saw it, and it didn't get called, so she came in and she was like, I'm gonna foul her.
yeah.
I think that's what it was.
I think Caitlin's always going to have the right PR answer, but inside I think she wants to beat her ass. I'm just going to be honest with you.
100%.
If they were in a dark alley and no one would ever know, she'd jump that girl quicker than
Listen,
quick.
watching Angel get those free throws after the technical fouls where no one's standing there and she just misses and looks like a complete buffoon.
It was beautiful.
Oh.
So, you are not dumb, and you should continue to love women's basketball. Just don't love Angel Reese, is all I'm telling you.
That's all we ask.
Okay, this is from Holland. Recast the Ocean's 11 franchise.
Now listen, I should have called you yesterday to be like,
Oh, no. Okay.
who specifically are we recasting? I did 4 characters. They might not be the same 4 you did. You might have done
Okay. Okay.
We'll see.
Let's hear what you got.
Okay. So I recast Danny Ocean, which is George's character. I did Idris Elba for him. I know. But
There's
then
some
when I
differences
thought
there.
about it, I was like, he'd be really good in that.
Okay. Yeah, I could see it. I just was, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I know. Do you want to do yours, and we'll kind of go back and forth?
Oh, my people that I did for that one?
Yes.
Yeah, so I did not lean that direction at all. I went I guess maybe like real young. I don't know.
Okay.
So for his character, I actually went Austin Butler.
Oh, now I could see that.
Kind of that like suave, like
Yes.
yeah.
I could see that. That's a good one.
Okay.
The next one I did was Linus Caldwell, which is Matt Damon's character. And
Yep.
I cast him with Pedro Pascal. I just think he could play that kind of like a little bit funny, quirky, but like he can also keep the team calm and together and on it.
Yes. I just forgot how to pronounce.
And I think him playing off of Idris would be a good match.
So you're not gonna like who I picked, I don't think. But remember, I went young.
That's fair.
I went Taylor Lautner.
I mean, yeah, I don't like that one.
Okay.
And I don't know if I don't like it because it doesn't fit or I just don't like him.
I know you don't like him, is what I was
No.
thinking.
That's
Go ahead.
right. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. The next one, I recast Tess Ocean, which is played
Yeah.
by Julia
Julia.
Roberts.
Yep.
And I went older. I went Sandra Bullock because those
You
two,
can't recast at the same age.
I can. I can and I will.
She did. Okay.
Because I had already recast George Clooney's character older. So I was like, well, I can't go crazy young on this one either.
Okay. I went Jennifer Lawrence.
Which would work really good with your Austin Butler.
I know, that's what I
like
thought
that
too.
one. I could see
Yeah.
that.
Okay. And who was your fourth?
The last one I did was Rusty Ryan, which is
Yeah.
Brad Pitt's character.
Brad Pitt, same.
Look at us. Look at
Yeah.
us. I did go a little younger, I went Ryan Gosling on this one.
Well, not a lot younger, but okay, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I just liked that.
That's not bad. That's not bad. I went Jacob Elordi.
That could fit with the cast that you have. I think.
Yeah, because I went way young compared to what you did.
So here's my issue, and I think this will take us into our next question. I just have a really hard time with these younger actors. Like, do I think you're good enough to cast in something as classic as Ocean's 11? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so the next question came from Anita, and she said, this new age of male actors just doesn't do it for me. We concur.
Yes.
She did say And guys, I'm just reading the question. I'm not passing judgment here. She did say too many fairy type. Reminds me of Taylor's dating history. Taylor's dating history. Timothy Chalamet and crew just don't have the appeal and chops of actors like Brad Pitt in the past. Am I just old? What am I missing? Am I wrong? Who's the best out there? Maybe I'm paying attention to the wrong ones. First of all, I thought this was hilarious because we do call some of the people Taylor has dated in the past fairies, and
Yeah.
also just like the multitude of questions. It was like a whole conversation she was having with us.
Yes. So I am thinking that Anita is probably close to our age.
Yeah, I looked and I couldn't really tell. So props. Listen, Anita, if you're over 40-ish, props to you because I thought you were around our age. So
Yeah. Listen, she's not wrong.
no, you're not. You're definitely not wrong.
They just aren't doing it. We just have like the classic films with the classic rugged guys that could
Yeah.
just play like, honestly, you could see Brad Pitt, George Clooney, like all of them playing all of these different characters and it just fit. Now you have like the Matt Damons, the Jacob Elordis, the Austin Butlers, and it's like they so go into a role and they just want to play that one specifically that now I can't see you cast as anything else. And they're so teeny tiny and young.
Yeah, they are very small and skinny.
Yeah, I need to bulk up, eat some burgers, do some weights. I don't
And
know.
none of them have good hair.
No.
Yeah,
What's happening with the hair?
and very pasty.
I think we've gone too far into the sunscreen, whereas our generation was the tanning beds.
I just had a conversation yesterday at Judd's combine, and I'll be honest, right here on my shoulders, it's burned.
Yeah.
But somebody said something about, we were watching this one kid running, and he was redhead, and it was blazing hot yesterday. And I was like, God, I hope that kid has sunscreen on because he is going to be a blister if not. And then we got to talk about it. I said, well, ironically, and go ahead and pass the parenting judgment, Judd has never worn sunscreen a day in his life. He's never been, huh?
I guess that surprises me a little bit.
Well, he's never been burned. He's mixed. I mean, and we lived at the beach. I know, okay.
Listen, it could be my ignorance, Sean, but I thought black people could still get burned.
Well, they can apparently because this was a black woman. She said, well, girl, I've been burned. And I was like,
I was gonna say, does Aaron wear sunscreen? Like if he's out at the beach or something?
no, but Aaron does not like to be in the sun because it makes him darker.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Anyway,
The more you know, folks.
the more you know, you're welcome. No, Anita, this is a question that, I mean, I don't find myself thinking about it all the time, but when I am watching something, I do think this too. And it's not that I think that the Timothy Chalamets or the Tom Hollands are bad actors. I think they're fine actors. But here's the way I look at things, and this may date me a little, I don't know. I think about actors and I'm like, okay, could you play in a war movie and it's believable?
Oh, that's
And then could you transition and play a rom-com and I'm like, I've got the hots for you?
yeah.
And if you can't do both, I'm like, what are we doing? And there is not one kid today that I could legitimately say, like, I would believe you in a war movie. I don't believe it with Austin Butler. I don't believe it with Jacob Elordi, Tom Holland, Timothy Chalamet. I think a few of them have been in war movies, and I'm like,
Yeah.
listen, if you're what's defending me, I'm leaving the country.
I think we don't stand a chance.
Yeah, we're done. We're screwed.
I think that another problem that they have, and listen, it's their genetics, they can't help it, but it's they read so much younger than they are. Like
Baby
some of these
faces.
guys can play like high school, college age kids, and they're in their mid to late 20s.
Well, if you think about it,
Josh
I mean,
Hart.
I know you were not a Gossip Girl fan, but they were playing high schoolers. So essentially, I believe we saw their 10th, 11th, and 12th grade years of high school in that series, the first part of the series. And they were in their mid 20s when they filmed it, but it was completely believable. Now, you take like a Timothy Chalamet. Timothy Chalamet is going to be 30.
Yeah, and he's always going to read like he's a high schooler.
And then that little mouse hair he's got is
Doesn't
just...
help. Doesn't help. My 14-year-old has the same thing. Like
Yeah,
summer.
So no, you're definitely not wrong. I don't think you're missing anything. You're not too old because we're never too old.
But also, like, I think maybe they do like a skincare routine and some Botox. I listen, Brad Pitt, George Clooney, they're not doing the Botox. They're aging, and we're seeing that, and we
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
So,
You did ask, and you also mentioned they don't have the same chops as actors. Now, there's a couple that I will say that I don't necessarily agree here. Overall, I would agree. I do think Tom Holland is a really good actor, though.
and Ryan Gosling can really jump
Yeah, but
genres.
see, I think he's old now too.
Well, but he's still, I wouldn't
You're
include
treating him
him.
like he's 20.
I know, but I think it's because I wouldn't include him in like that George Clooney, Matt Damon,
Yeah, I mean, he's younger than
that
that.
area. I
Well,
just
so then, do you include like Ryan Reynolds?
oh,
He's
that's
like-
fair. I guess there's like that middle group.
Yeah, the
Okay.
ones that are our age. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But then you said, who's the best out there? I'm assuming you mean actor wise right now. And if I was to say the best actor in this very group of men, I would go Tom Holland.
I think I would go that. Maybe, well, what group are we putting Pedro in? This younger group?
And see, I think Pedro's old. How old was Pedro Pascal? Let me look. He's got to be 40.
I mean, he's aging. He's not got a skincare routine, that's for sure.
He's 50.
Okay.
So,
I didn't realize
please
that.
take everything Becca says with a grain of salt.
Never mind, folks. Ignore that one.
Please. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go acting wise. I'm going Tom Holland. If we're going looks, though, the way that we were all in love with Brad Pitt and George Clooney,
Austin Butler, maybe?
I would go Austin or Jacob Elordi. But Jacob Elordi likes to sometimes dress a little too feminine for me, and
He's just a little too sickly Victorian looking for me.
yeah, I probably would go Austin Butler. But you know, there was that moment when he got stuck in the Elvis voice.
I mean, he's still kind of there.
Yeah, so that kind of freaks me out a little bit. But
How old is Austin? Austin is 33.
listen, so if you're talking even younger than the 30s, I don't know who we're talking about. I don't know. I don't watch the Disney Channel anymore, so I don't know who's next.
I'm going to tell you, that's got to be genetics. Because he doesn't look 33.
No, he looks good.
Okay.
Anyway,
Well, there you go, Anita. I hope we helped.
yeah. If not, we're just with the same camp as you. All right, you ready for some Y Factor?
Let's do it.
All right. What are you not liking?
Okay, so I do like Morgan Wallen. I enjoy his music. We were out of town on Saturday, so we had a little bit of a drive, and so I was listening to some of the newer country music that was out. And I heard 2 new Morgan Wallen songs that I had not heard. I'm going to tell you, that's my why not this week. The first one is, he had a song that he has come out with on his new album with Tate McRae. Listen.
Oh, and that's right. You didn't know who Tate McRae was the other day.
Well, I knew the name. I thought she was a TikTok person. I didn't know she was a singer.
She started on TikTok. So you're not
Okay.
too far
Well,
off.
then that makes sense. It was like 2 musical genres trying to come together, but neither of them trying to switch anything to fit into a collaboration together. It sounded so bad. I had to skip it like halfway through the song. I was like, I can't do this anymore. Then he said another song called Miami that it just has like this sad undertone sounds to, but it gets to the chorus and he sings Miami and then the background vocals say Miami. And I'm gonna tell you, when the background vocals came in, it sounded as if you had gathered some chipmunks, gave them a little bit of the things,
Okay.
and then you had them sing the word Miami. That's exactly what it
Well,
sounded
I've got to listen to this now.
I need you to listen and that be the picture in your mind.
Yeah.
I was floored to have like 2 Morgan Wallen songs come on back to back that were new, and I was like, these are misses, my
I
God.
mean,
So that's my why not. What do you have?
actually, I have 2, and they're both like talk show kind of things, or like YouTube shows kind of deal. I don't know what we call that anymore. It's not a talk show, but that's all they do.
We call it news now. That's what we call it.
Okay. I feel like one of these is going to be a very unpopular opinion. Maybe both. I don't know. Depends on the audience. Our demographics lately have been confusing to me, so I don't really know. Are you familiar with Caleb Presley?
Yes.
I do not enjoy his interviews because I feel like he's trying to act like Bobby Altoff.
He is, but I think he goes too hard on trying to get a sound clip that it misses the, what could be.
I just don't enjoy it. But interesting facts about him. Did you know, first of all, did you know that he was a quarterback in college in North Carolina?
No idea.
He went to high school with Ben Johnson, the head coach of, now the head coach of the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
Luke Combs. Yeah, they were all high school teammates.
Interesting.
I know, very strange. The other one I don't enjoy in that genre of entertainment is Theo Vaughn. I don't enjoy him at all.
I can't tell if he's dumb or if he's playing a character. I can't get a read. Hey, what's up?
Well, welcome to the show, Aaron.
I thought I was sneaking in. She figured he couldn't see me. There's food. I'm walking away.
Okay, yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, I don't like him, and he's like with everyone now. Did you see he was just recently with Ivanka and Jared Trump?
Okay, so that was a very strange thing to me.
Yeah.
I could see you being out with like Trump Jr. because he just,
Yeah, he's
with everybody for the picture. But I feel like Ivanka's pretty selective in who she's spending her time with.
It was all over social media, on her social media. So
Yeah.
I don't like their interviews. I don't think either one of them are good at it, and it makes me bitter because I'm like, we could do better.
Okay.
That's what I'm not liking. What are you liking this week?
So what I'm liking this week, I have two, and I'm still in my documentary. I think I'm just really
Same. I've got a documentary too.
because I don't know what to do with myself beyond like football.
What if we picked the same thing? Because I don't think we've talked about this yet.
Well, I know we haven't talked. Maybe one of them will pick that's the same, but the other one's a little left field for me.
Okay.
So the first one I have, it's called The Quilters on Netflix.
Oh, I for sure didn't watch that.
I understand. It's a 30-minute mini documentary on Netflix. We got home late. I just needed something to watch, and I was like, let me just see what this is about. It's a group of men in a prison in Missouri, and they make quilts for foster children. Listen, I know. I literally just turned it on thinking it would be some good background noise, and I was watching it intently for the full 30 minutes. Like, it kind of talks about each guy and, like, what you have to do to be able to get into this program and do these kinds of things, and, like, how appreciative these foster kids are that will, like, send them thank you cards and things because they're like, we don't have anything that's ours that we get to keep when we bounce from house to house.
Right.
So seeing, like, these men that are in prison for life and, like, someone appreciates something that they've been able to do. Again, it's 30 minutes. It's real quick. But it was kind of good. So that was my first.
Well, the premise is interesting, but yeah, that would never have caught my attention.
Yeah. I think if it had been like multiple episodes and longer, I wouldn't have been able to stick with it. But 30 minutes got right to the point, and I was like, that was a good use of my time.
I appreciate what they're doing, though, so that's good. Okay.
And then the other one I watched, which again, I am not a history person. I just don't enjoy it. I don't want to learn about it. Talking about wars and stuff, I don't get. But I think as I've gotten older, the things that we've lived through, like the Oklahoma City bombing, the 9/11 terrorist attacks, things like, I remember them on the surface level, and I, vaguely remember things, but I never knew the background. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
there was one on Netflix. It's called American Manhunt, Osama bin Laden. It's 3 episodes. So freaking good. I mean, it gives all the people, all the CIA people, there's a SEAL Team 6 member that's in this documentary where they talk about, like, the actual hunt for him. Everything that they had to do. This is what the public's perception was and what they were saying in the media, but this is what we were actually doing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It goes into, like, how they track these people all around the world. Like, it was just so interesting to me.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those, like, it was a historical moment that we lived through, so that made it even more interesting because I was like, oh, I remember seeing them say those things on the news, or I remember this picture coming out. So it was really well done.
Yeah. I enjoy those kind of shows. Mine is a documentary as well, of course. That is our hero. No, this weekend I started watching the new Judd family Truth Be Told documentary.
Oh, okay. What is that streaming on?
Okay, so I had a lot of confusion with this too. So it's on Lifetime, so it kind of depends on where you procure Lifetime. But like if you go, like I go on my Roku, or Roku as my mother used to say, and I put it in the search, it gives you like 12 options, and like, so I tried to do friendly, whatever that is, because it was going to be free.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure it out. So I just bought it for the whole. I bought all of it for $6.99 on Amazon Prime because I was like, I don't have time.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm 2 episodes in. Now here's the thing. A lot of people have asked us if we named Judd after the Judds. We did not. That did not happen. That would have been real weird.
I don't see Aaron going for that.
No, but I did like the Judds when I was younger. But no, to be honest, the very first time someone asked us, like, I was like, what? I never even crossed my mind. So no, that's not it. But I did like the Judds. I was very sad when Naomi committed suicide. I actually used to really love I used to say Ashley Judd was my favorite actress back in her like Double Jeopardy days. Loved her.
Then she kind of went off the rails.
Yeah, she's wackadoodle, and you see it more in this too. But it's actually really, really good. So Winona, Ashley are both in it. Some of Naomi's ex-husbands are in it. Her widower is in it. Okay. Some of like her childhood friends are in it. Other family members. Her brother is in it. Naomi's brother. Reba McEntire's in it. Just like lots of firsthand things. Lots of voicemails that they exchanged between each other. And if you're not familiar with the Judd story as a family, there's a lot of trauma on like every front.
Yeah.
Just a real cluster. But it's really, really, really good. I had read an article that was kind of Ashley talking about filming it, talking about it, about when her mother died and stuff, which was, I haven't gotten to that episode yet, obviously, when Naomi does kill herself, but the article I read was weird. I didn't really understand exactly what Ashley was saying logistically, but it's so good. I love any of the things that give you the first count, first-hand count of everything. It's really, really good, and it just rejuvenated my love, so I had to listen to Love Will Build a Bridge a couple times. But it's really good, though. I'm not done, so I'm 2 episodes in, but it's really good so far.
Okay. Do you have another one?
No, just one. I can't have too many. I mean,
I know. But listen, you just never know.
But that is episode 70. So next week when we record, we may have to record on Tuesday because we need to see what happens Monday night, and Monday's a holiday.
That's right. Let's figure it out.
We'll let you guys know. Thanks for tuning in. Keep the questions coming.
Yes.
Follow us, we guess. We don't even know. So, all right. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.